which has enhanced the international standing of Paraguay when it comes to the human rights monitoring and application. And this initiative, it's called SIMORE, Sistema de Monitoreo de Recomendaciones.
Great,
Yes,
Spanish.
very good.
Great.
And we're very, very happy today to hear more about it, to learn more about it, to introduce it to, to the colleagues of the UN system. This is an initiative, as His Excellency was explaining to me, that has been growing with the years. It's now even in a version of a SIMORE Plus. We will hear more about that, and it's very much linked to the SDGs. And it has been also throughout the process been supported by the OHCHR, but also by the UNDP, which is also something to keep in mind. And we were also discussing, how Paraguay has been sharing these experiences with many countries in the region, whether it's Chile, Guatemala, Honduras, Uruguay, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, and this is phenomenal. It's a typical example of South-South cooperation. We've been also discussing how eventually we can further discuss how this tool can grow beyond this region to other regions. But without further ado, and so we don't want to consume more time in speeches, let me give the floor to His Excellency, and then we can hear a detailed presentation and maybe a discussion around SIMORE. Floor is yours, Ambassador.
Thank you, dear Dina, for this meeting. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, Asunción. How are you today there? Great.
Thank you. Good morning.
We miss you guys. We want to be there. Thank you, Dina, for this meeting, for having us the opportunity to having this presentation. I also extend my warm welcome and gratitude to the representative of all the offices that are participating with us, the UN Interagency Mechanism for South-South Cooperation, who are joining in this important meeting today. I have to say that this meeting was conceived a few months ago when Dina and his team visited our mission. It was about, I think it was in October or maybe in November, I'm not sure. And at this time, we have a deep conversation about cooperation, speaking in general, no? But at this time, I explained to Dina the way that Paraguay became in an offer of cooperation in some particular areas, no? Where we are strong. And one of these particular areas in which we are offering cooperation is indeed in human rights mechanism. We have developed a strong platform that, at the beginning was only an informatic platform that linked the recommendation that we receive with our national policies in the way of its implementation. And then that small platform evolved in SIMORE and then evolved even more in SIMORE Plus that links human rights with SDGs, no? And then my country became offer of cooperation with many countries around in our region, yes, specifically, no? And during some years, we received demands for countries from other continents, from Africa, Oceania also, and we try to implementing a cooperation with them in the way of triangular cooperation, but because of we haven't had enough resources, thus initially weren't able to go ahead. So maybe if the UN agencies, after this presentation, you are interested in SIMORE, maybe we can do something together to bring SIMORE to other countries and to offer SIMORE as a tool for other countries as idea. You know? SIMORE not only reflects our country's dedication to transparency and accountability, but also serves as a valuable model of international cooperation. That's, no? SIMORE has allowed Paraguay to position itself as an active and responsible member of international community that not only receive but also provide cooperation. This also allows us, my country, to demonstrate that cooperation among developing countries is a key driver of progress, and that countries facing similar challenges can benefit from practical tested solutions. I would like to introduce you, Edina, to you and to this table, our colleague from Asunción, our human rights teams for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who will presenting the platform. No? Our human rights office colleagues are in effect the ones that make possible the operation of this platform and are in charge of the implementation of the cooperation program that allow us to share this tool with other countries. And I would like to give you the floor, Ambassador Raúl Martínez, the General Director of Human Rights, to continue this presentation and moving forward to our common interests. Raúl, if you allow me,
Yes, please.
the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. Distinguished guests, colleagues, participants joining us both in person and virtually. Thank you very much for convening this meeting. It is an honor indeed to address you today as we gather to discuss the SIMORE Paraguay Technical Cooperation Program. As Ambassador Scapini told us, it is a milestone in our nation's commitment to advancing human rights through innovative and collaborative means. I extend my gratitude also to the United Nations Office for South-South Cooperation, and particularly to Director Dima Al-Katabi for hosting this briefing and for their unwavering support in promoting solidarity among nations. Of course, also, again, I would like to extend my special greeting and my deepest appreciation to His Excellency Ambassador Marcelo Scapini, who just took the floor, our permanent representative to the United Nations. He's always with us with their invaluable efforts in helping to bring this meeting to reality. Paraguay's journey with SIMORE, which is our system for monitoring recommendations, reflects a decade-long effort to strengthening our capacity to uphold international human rights obligations. From its inception in 2011, as Ambassador Scapini told us, it started as a simple search to its evolution into SIMORE Plus in 2017. This mechanism has become a cornerstone in our national framework, fostering coordination across government institutions and engaging civil society in a transparent, accessible platform. It is a testament to what can be achieved when we align technical innovation with a steadfast dedication to human rights. Today, through the SIMORE Paraguay Technical Cooperation Program, we are proud to share this experience with the global community, particularly within the framework of South-South cooperation. Rooted in principles of equality, solidarity, and mutual benefit, this program offers technical assistance to countries seeking to establish their own national mechanisms for implementation, reporting, and follow-up. It is our hope that this exchange of knowledge and expertise will inspire and empower others to enhance their human rights systems, just as it has done for us. I'm especially pleased to introduce Mr. Ricardo Ortega, our expert who will deliver the next presentation. Ricardo has been instrumental in the development of SIMORE for many years, bringing invaluable expertise to its substantive aspects. and strengthening our collaboration with what we affectionately call the focal points, a network of representatives from over 60 institutions. Coordinating such a diverse group of government stakeholders is no small feat, and we often acknowledge the challenges it entails. Yet, thanks to Ricardo's guidance and the dedication of our team, we are fortunate to say that any difficulties we encountered were manageable and never overshadowed our progress. I look forward to the insights and discussions that will unfold in this session, confident that they will pave the way for deeper collaboration and progress. I thank you, and if Director Pima allows us, I would like to give the floor to Ricardo, please.
Okay, Ricardo.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ambassador, for your words, and thank you everyone for your interest and for your time, for your interest in hearing about our humble experience with the SIMORE Plus. I would like to share a presentation. If you confirm.
Yeah, please go ahead, sorry.
Well, I would like to split this presentation in two parts. First, to briefly explain what the SIMORE Plus is about, its main features, functions, and working methods, and then to talk about the SIMORE Paraguay Technical Cooperation Program itself, because this cooperation program was designed based on the national experience of SIMORE Plus, and with the objective, the main objective of sharing this experience with other countries. When we talk about SIMORE Plus, it is important to point out that it is not only a digital tracking tool or a database. It is properly a permanent interinstitutional national mechanism for implementation, reporting, and follow-up, which is supported by two complementary and mutually reinforcing components. On the one hand, we have the technological component, which is the platform, the software, which obviously facilitates our work in terms of a reduction of bureaucracy or information management. This is basically, as I mentioned, a software hosted on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs servers, and which is accessible from any device with an internet connection. But in the other hand, we have the other component, which in my opinion is the main one, which is the human component. It is, for me, from our experience, actually the heart of the mechanism. Without this component, we consider that there's no technology, no matter how advanced that technology may be, that could properly do the sensitive work consisting in the management of human rights issues. And when we talk about the human component, we are talking about the network of focal points that Ambassador Scapini mentioned and Ambassador Martinez as well. This focal point network is coordinated jointly by the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Justice, and made up of around 130 public officials who belongs to about 65 institutions of 3 state branches, I mean executive, judiciary, and the parliament, as well as extra branch bodies such as the prosecutor's office or the ombudsperson's office. And these focal points, these officials are responsible for following up and reporting on the institutional measures aimed at the implementation of recommendation of their institutional competence through the platform. So So there we have the two components. Well, the consolidation of the SIMORE Plus as a national mechanism was materialized in 2015 through a presidential decree that establishes a regulation, which is basically the instrument that contains our working methods. Accordingly, the coordinators, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Justice must establish an annual calendar that includes regular and extraordinary meetings. The regular meetings should be held every 3 months, and the extraordinary ones every time that we receive new recommendations, that we need to initiate the preparation of reports, or when we have to go to Geneva to present our reports during a constructive dialogues with the committees. Well, and at this point, it is important to emphasize how crucial is that to keep these meetings in person, because during these in-person meetings, focal points are empowered and they take ownership of the recommendations, because we gather, we meet all together, and we analyze, we do a revision, a deep revision of every recommendation that we receive, so they can have the opportunity to see their own institutions' competences reflected on those recommendations, and so they can, as I mentioned, take ownership, and of course that is useful in order to promote the follow-up and the implementation and reporting processes into their respective institutions internally. The regulation also contains provisions for appointment of focal points and guidelines about how to prepare reports, as well as a handbook for institutional users that contains guidelines for systematization and uploading of recommendations and follow-ups. So in this way, our working methods combine the interaction between both components in a 5-step information management process that includes systematization of recommendations through in-person meetings, as I mentioned, the data migration, which is the uploading of the systematized recommendations to the platform, then the follow-up and reporting, then verification and validation, and finally the publication of the report that every focal point upload to the platform. Well, I would like to quickly mention other features that SIMORE Plus has, like the questionnaire platform, which is a data collection tool to respond list of issues, or to respond or to collect information, to provide contributions to special rapporteurs, to report of the Office of the High Commissioner or the Secretary General. Also, the SIMORE Plus can produce statistics that allow the administrators and coordinators of the mechanism to identify aspects or some themes that need to be improved. And also we have the CSO Plus, which is a virtual platform that offers easy and safe access to civil society organizations, and they can register there to contribute with comments and interact with administrators and the official focal points. And we consider this as an exercise of transparency, participation, and accountability. Well, this is basically and quickly what the SIMORE Plus is about. And well, now I would like to mention the SIMORE Plus Technical Cooperation Program, which is the second part of this presentation. And well, when it comes to technical assistance and capacity building in the international arena, the SIMORE Plus experience has been recognized as a good practice in this area. So based on this recognition, Paraguay has led the adoption of 4 resolutions by the Human Rights Council. The first one in 2020 and 2015, then 2017, 2019, and the last one in 22. It is we are planning to present once again this resolution this year in September, in the session of the human rights that will be in September. This resolution basically is to promote international cooperation in support of the national mechanisms, and has and Paraguay has, based on this experience, shared a technical cooperation program for assist other countries to establish a national mechanism. The SIMORE Paraguay Technical Cooperation Program is basically, as I mentioned, aimed to strengthen institutional capacities for fulfillment of human rights obligations and commitments through the establishment of a national mechanism based on the SIMORE Plus experience. It has, I would say, 4 moments. The first is and then the first step is the signature of an interinstitutional agreement between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Paraguay and the institution appointed by the recipient country, could be the Human Rights Ministry or similar. The second step or second moment is the implementation, that basically and usually has 2 stages or 2 visits to the recipient country. Technical team from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Paraguay visits the recipient country, and these visits include the training workshops, advice, exchange of experiences, and of course the technology transfers. I mean the installation of the software and the sharing of the source code of this software. This part is totally for free, so not have costs. Then the third stage or the third moment is a remote technical assistant, which is provided by technical team from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and this stage is for adaptations or adjustments that the recipient country may require in the platform according to its own needs and preferences. And finally, the operational launch of the platform, which all the functionalities and modules are required by the recipient. Before initiating the implementation, we usually need to determine some prior requirements. The first one is to identify possible existing mechanisms or procedures that the recipient country may already have for reporting or follow-up processes regarding recommendations, human rights recommendations. So first we identify these mechanisms or procedures. Then in order to emulate the SIMORE Plus experience, we attempt to set up a network of focal points. In some cases, this network is already existing. So the first step is to identify, and the second is an option. If they don't have, so we set up this, we help the recipient country to set up the network of focal points. And the third requirement, the prior requirement, is that the recipient country has to make available basic technological infrastructure for software installations to receive the software that Paraguay provides for free. As I mentioned, the formalization of the cooperation is made through an institutional agreement between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Paraguay and the institution appointed by the recipient country. Regarding the duration of the implementation process, it could be at least 6 months, but this is subjected to coordination of schedules and resources availability. I mentioned that the software transfer is for free, but there are some costs that will be explained in this presentation. In the stage of implementation, as I mentioned, it has two visits, two stages. The first visit with a duration of 5 days, and what we do in the first visit is to first install the software in the servers of the recipient country, sharing the source code of the software. We share the SIMORE Plus experience, and we used to arrange training workshops for systematization and revision of the recommendations that the recipient country has received from the international mechanisms for human rights. Then we have a middle stage between the first and the second visit. That is the moment when the remote technical assistance is provided to the recipient country in order to develop the demo or the pilot version of the SIMORE. And this process could last between 1 to 3 months, and then we go again during the second visit, which duration could be as well 5 days. In this second visit, we actually work with the demo version, with real recommendations from international mechanisms issued for the recipient country. So what we do in this second visit is to train focal points and administrators on how to use their own platform. In terms of costs, travel accommodations and expenses for the first visit usually are covered by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Paraguay, and for the second visit usually are covered by the recipient country or a third party. So in some cases we have had this implemented this program in some countries in the South scheme, and in some cases like El Salvador or Brazil, that's an ongoing process right now. We had the support of third party, UNDP, the OECHR, and other agencies. So we do have positive experiences in triangular cooperation with the support of human rights, United Nations country teams, programs, agencies. This is basically how we implement the program. And here we have some of the concluded cooperations. We, as Ambassador Scapini mentioned, we have cooperated with Uruguay, Honduras, Guatemala, Chile, Dominican Republic, Argentina, Costa Rica, the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights, and currently we have ongoing processes with El Salvador and Brazil. So with this presentation, I would like to finish my intervention, thanking you again for your attention, and we will be happy to answer any question that you may have.
And just one final comment, just because I was hearing the presentation of Ricardo. Yes, I'm just reminded that in the end of the month we're having our our next focal point meeting. And during that meeting, we're gonna a delegation from the government of Brazil will be joined our meeting in this ongoing cooperation that we're having with them. So our next activity in this regard is working with the Brazilians on how they will implement their own national mechanism. So we are happy to do that. Thank you very much.
May I ask you something
Please.
to my colleagues?
Yeah.
I don't know if I put them
Yeah.
between the sword and the wall, but there is any possibility to make a very brief demonstration about how SIMORE works? I mean, or no, at this time? I don't know if it's possible, Raul, but I think maybe
we can try.
it will be interesting to show them, to the table and other participants, how SIMORE works in 5 minutes.
Public access.
That's great.
Since we have 25 more minutes, so we can, and then we let 10 minutes for Q&A.
See, just one moment.
Yeah, I'm fine. But are they able to do it?
I don't know if they are able to do that.
Okay, sure. Here you go. Okay.
So can you see the?
Yes,
Yes.
we can, I think.
So this is the front page, I would say. This is the public access. You any citizen with internet connection can access this page. And the main tool that we have here in the front page is the searching machine over
Sure.
here. And here we can see some criteria like the year, institution, mechanism, the SDG, population, themes or rights, which can be combined to make searching on recommendations. And link to those recommendations, we can find, or the citizen can find the reports that focal points had uploaded regarding the actions that they are taking to implement those recommendations. So maybe we could have a so here is what
Para ver los reportes.
see. We can let here in blank. So the aim is to find the recommendation, for example, from the Universal Periodic Review, UPR. So, and I put 2021 here because that was, yes, our last evaluation under the UPR. So internet connection is not that good here, but
F5. Yo no tenía acá wifi.
say it again. Abajo aparece. Okay. So,
Tengo problema internet.
compartiendo cualquier cosa.
It's faster here because I already opened it here with this Wi-Fi.
It's user friendly. I'm scrolling.
Yeah. Universal periodic.
It's friendly.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
friendly.
Yes.
I think that we are having some internet connection troubles here, but as I hear someone mention there, maybe you by yourself
Se corta mucho.
could try it because it's screen. Yeah, we are using a special computer, but that is only for meetings. So I think that it doesn't have the capacity to manage the system. But if you can try it there, or even through your cell phones, you can access the SIMORE Plus page and you can try it.
And thank you very much. Thank you for this fantastic presentation, very comprehensive and in details, and it really shows not only, as you rightly said, not only the digital aspects, but also the institutional and the capacity building element and the sharing of experiences. It's really very well rounded, and we want to give the opportunity also for the participants today with us and online, if there are any specific queries that they would like to put forward, just to have a good discussion about it. And I just also want to mention that we have already featured that on our Galaxy platform. Looking at our knowledge colleagues, is it already up there? Is it? So it is on our knowledge platform for South-South cooperation. We will also try to relook, and if the links that you have provided are not there, we will make sure that it is also available there. So any country that would like to access the information can easily do it through our digital platform, which is the Galaxy. And that's an opportunity to introduce also Galaxy for everyone who's with us, which is our digital platform to share knowledge and experiences across countries and in line with the SDGs. So with this, Ambassador, should we open the floor for any questions that colleagues may have? Colleagues online and in the room, please feel free to come forward with any questions that you may have. We do have a good 15 minutes for any questions. I can kickstart with a question. Can I start with a question myself? Because I was thinking, with the importance of this tool and in the experience of Paraguay, how much of this tool being implemented has influenced changes in policies across the different institutions? Would that be something that you would be able to share with us, colleagues from the ministry?
Sure, Director. As a first comment, I would like to say that we are very happy with our tool because it enabled us to have more contact with other human rights from other entities, governmental entities, which were kind of obliged to have a human rights expert. So they know what we are talking about. I do remember before that we we had a lot of difficulties getting information, human rights information from other entities. And now it is kind of normal because we have our focal points and they have experience, they know about our tool and they know about treaty bodies, they know about UPR. And that's something that not everyone knows in every entity, especially in developing countries. So that is a very, in our experience, is a very positive aspect. I know if you want to say something.
Yeah, I could mention some examples of national plans or policies that have had the impact of the SIMORE that visually. For example, our national action plan for indigenous people, persons with disabilities, and other initiatives to tackle poverty or social programs. All of them are based on recommendations that we have been followed up through SIMORE Plus. More recently, this is important to mention, our National Human Rights Institution, the Defensoría del Pueblo, has recovered its A status under the Paris Principle through GANRI, and we are convinced that this is because of the follow-up process that we had established through SIMORE Plus. Just to mention some examples.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have anyone who would like to? Yes, please.
My name is Dennis. I'm with UN Office for South-South Cooperation. I've got two very practical questions. The first one relates to the system of focal points. Usually when you have a system of focal points, there are challenges in that when those people move on, usually a vacuum is left behind, and sometimes it takes quite a long time to then recreate the institutional memory, to recreate the capacity that existed. How have you managed to keep this system going and working very well in Paraguay? So that's the first question. The second question is about cooperating with other countries. And again, the question is very simple. For the most part, I see that you've been working with Spanish-speaking countries, but in the event that you collaborate with some countries, let's say in the Caribbean, which are English-speaking, how have you been able to overcome those barriers? You also have been working with Brazil, for example. So these are just practical issues that arise in terms of cooperating and also institutional organization for development. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for the question. With regard to the first question, it is one of the most visible challenges. When we study here, we try to update all the focal points for every entity. And we know that sometimes there are changes. That's why we need to stay in contact all the time with them throughout the year. So we know if there is going to be some people who will be following up if the focal point will be changed. It's something that we should keep working almost every day, because there are more than 100 people over there. So we, our countries, they change their bureaucrats all the time. So we need to stay updated in that regard. It is one of the most visible challenges, but throughout the years, we had some good examples that people that have left their post, they left good work done already. So the next one is doing a very good work. So it's not something that we are really worried about. For the next question, I don't know if the operation regarding
language.
Okay.
No, yes, I just wanted to add some comments to the first answer, or to the answer of the first question. What you in practical terms usually do is to encourage institutions to appoint more than only one focal point. So we can have always an alternate to in the case that someone left or similar. And the other key issue is that we take advantage of these regular and extraordinary meetings that we usually hold during the year. Not only to we take these meetings not only as a working meetings, but also as training meetings. So we are constantly training people, including the the principal one and the alternates. So in this way, we try to keep the capacity no matter if some focal points leave the team. And we have, at this point, we didn't have yet any experience in other language that is different from Spanish. But I think that we have experience in sharing our experience in other spaces, in other languages, including in English and Portuguese. So I think that we have the capacity to implement the cooperation program in English or in Portuguese. Because of it's basically to share the experience, our working methods. As I am doing right now, so it's not something that challenging for us.
And of course, if the UNDP or OHCHR would like to help us in that regard, that would be very much welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for answering those questions. Are there any other questions? Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. This is very informative and very exciting, actually, especially when we come to think of taking forward on a South-South cooperation modality. Did you have an experience, and then how do you deal with it when you go into a country knowing that not all countries are on the same level of digitalization? And in some cases, a lot of the materials, information are not in digital form yet. So is your cooperation also able to support that process of digitalization in the partner country? And how do you go about that? That's part one. Part two, since I have the floor, in terms of access, once again, not all communities may have ease of access. Are there platforms like libraries or government offices that will enable local citizens to go online and access? And also, are we tracking the kind of requests that we get through the system to understand better what kind of requests are being asked the most? What kind of information is being searched for? So the first is digitalization. Are you able also to support the partner country on digitalizing their information, setting it up? Yeah.
So we provide a software, right? So
Yeah,
and that is for free.
yeah. The fact is that the technological infrastructure that is needed to allocate the software is really basic. It's not a technology too much developed. But in one case, we had experience that our IT team supported the IT team of the receiving country to get for free the software or the system that they need to install to receive it. So, but because of the technological tool is too basic, so it doesn't need too much technological infrastructure or development to receive the software. I think that at this time, any country has this level of technological development to allocate the software. I really didn't get the second question. What kind of information are the most asked by?
What kind of information do they look the most normally?
Since all the information is free access, we really don't have a tracking on what kind of information are more looked for, but maybe that's an improvement that we could introduced to our system. We don't have the capacity to track the searching of information in our system because the information is all totally free access. But there's a previous process before the publication of the information, which is private between the administrators of the platform, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Justice, and the focal points. So we pass through several filters before the information is published. And once it is published, it's totally free for access of anyone with internet connection.
Thank you very much for giving us answers to these all of these questions, all pertinent ones. It gives also a better idea on how far the tool has been, proven its efficiencies and what does it take. But we also like the fact that you're taking some of those questions for the improvement. This is definitely also very good. So do we have any other questions? All right. So, well, I mean, we come to the end of this session, right? But we really want to extend, our gratitude and thanks to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Asuncion and to the team for giving us this extensive presentation, very interesting and definitely with a lot of potential of growth, the way I see it. As I said, we have already this best practice on our platform, but we'll be more than happy to have further discussions with the ambassador on how to take it to, other heights, as we say, other continents, other regions, and see, what are the possibilities. So thank you very much again, and thank you, Ambassador, for being with us today, and for the ministry, and for all the participants who were with us today, and to be continued, I would say, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
But probably next day we can draw next steps.
Yes.
And probably next step should be sharing this experience with member states.
Yes.
As a next step. At the beginning, we wanted to share here this small room with you, and we will ready at this time to make that very short presentation about how it really works on the ground. So thank you again for your time. Thank you to the UN Interagency Mechanism for South-South Cooperation, and we remain available for.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you very much, and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
You wanted to say something. Please, you wanted to say something?
No, just thank you. No, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Very much appreciated.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Extremely interesting.